In today's video, we're going to be going over part 2 of immigration inside of Canada. So once again, here we can see that is a Canadian flag, so that's the flag of Canada. Here is just a map of how Canada looks like, and this is our current Prime Minister, whose name is Justin Trudeau. So let's get started for what we're going to learn about. So in this part 2 video, what are we going to learn about? So in this video, we're going to be learning about the IRPA Act, which is also known as the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act. So this whole video is just going to be based on this act. So now let's just recap what we did in the part 1 video, so make sure to check this video out too. So in our part 1 video, we learned first about Canada's geography. Second, we looked at why people call Canada the land of immigration. And third, we also learned about why immigration was really important inside of Canada. So this is just a recap of part 1 video, and make sure to check that video out as well. So let's get started with this part 2 video. So first, where is your family from? So here's just a picture of the whole entire world, and we can see that there's many different places, and what we're trying to represent with this picture here is we're saying that immigration can be anywhere outside of Canada. For example, someone from India or from Africa or from China or Europe, anyone can come into Canada, and that will be equal to what immigration is. And now let's start on what the IRPA Act, or the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act, is. So here's just a graph. I'm going to explain a little bit about this graph later on. So first of all, the IRPA is the most recent law in Canada regarding immigration, which came in effect inside of 2002. And basically, so the IRPA is the most recent law that deals with all types of immigration inside of Canada, and it came inside of 2002. And this is the most important thing, is that it's categorized in 4 different classes, and we're going to cover about that later on in this video. So that's all we need to know for this slide, which is the most recent law. And furthermore, so back to this picture. So basically the IRPA Act, it establishes categories for who can come into Canada from other countries to make permanent homes here and permanently live here. And the 4 categories that are inside of the IRPA Act is the economic class, which is the biggest class here, you can see. Second is the family class, which is the second biggest class with 28%. Next is refugees, which is 13%. And our final one is other, which is the leftover 4%. So the IRPA Act consists of these 4 categories, and we're going to look more in depth at what these 4 categories are right now. So let's start off with the economic class, which is the biggest class. So the economic class contains 55% of the immigration people, and the economic class contains of skilled workers and business people. So that is for who's inside of the economic class. For the family class, so the second biggest one with 28%, the family class contains of spouses, partners, and children's parents and grandparents of people living inside of Canada. The next one is refugees, which is the 13%. And the refugees consist of people escaping persecution, torture, or cruel and unusual punishment, or a natural disaster from their own country as they're living right now. So those are the 13% of refugees here. And finally, we have the other class, which is the remaining 4%. And the other 4% of others is the people accepted for humanitarian or compassionate reasons. And also for the other class, furthermore, so this can include providing aid to victims of natural disasters or people affected by war or conflict. So once again, these are our 4 categories inside of the IRPA Act. So now let's look at the objectives of the IRPA Act. So the first objective of the IRPA Act is to support a strong and prosperous economy. The second objective of the IRPA Act is to respect and support multiculturalism and also bilingualism. So this means multiple languages speaking, and also that means multiple cultures. The third objective is to strengthen the cultural fabric of Canadian society. And the final one is to promote successful integration of immigrants into the Canadian society. So these are the 4 main objectives of the IRPA, and there's much more. So for each one of them, so for the economic class, there's objectives for that. There's some objectives for the refugee, for the family, and also for the other. But these are the 4 main objectives of the IRPA. And that's also basically it for this video. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you found it useful, and we'll see you guys in our part 3 video.